What is up, people? Today, a wonderful day. I finally got the Moondrop Golden Ages 1979. You think they would say the Golden Age, but anyway, the Golden Ages 1979 true wireless earphones. I have been waiting for it for a long time. I pre-ordered these, and actually I saw them online first, and then I pre-ordered them, and they finally arrived. I gave them a listen. I've been listening for some time now, and I've explored it, seen the function, and I want to share with you my opinions quickly, thoughts, and a few comparisons. First, before I talk about them, I will just say how this review process is going to work out. I just say I will go and tell you my opinion about the case, about the earphone, how they look, and so on, and then I'm going to be telling you the sound, and then talk a bit about the noise cancellation quickly, and then I will do a quick comparison to some few other true wireless IMs I have, something like the Space Travel and the Sony and AirPods Pro, and then I will tell you what I think the value here lies, especially in comparison to other wireless choices, maybe like a FIO BTR7 or maybe like a wired IM. So let's get started. Let's not waste any more time. First of all, you get this beautiful, nice case that has here this beautiful shape, and you get this light indicator. It looks like kind of like the Sony Walkman from a long time ago. I remember I used to listen to this Walkman like 20 years ago, so it has special meaning for me. It charges by USB-C, and it is 5.3 for USB. If we look at the box, this is what the box look like. I will just flip over quickly. You can see the Walkman here. It's famous for that. And I will give you a look at the specs here. As you can see, it's 5.3 Bluetooth. It has AAC, SPC, LDAC, LC3. I didn't see any aptX HD or adaptive or low latency, or even just aptX, maybe for cost saving, I don't know. Then you get a few options and working distance and charging time and so on. Anyway, they look wonderful. I did the unboxing. You can check that if you want to know more about it. That box here is for pairing and for restoring factory settings. They come with this nice case that hug it so much. It's like silicone. I don't want to use it for this review because I used it before and it's excellent, but I couldn't get it out easily, so I want to just show you guys how it looks like and so on, and then we can move on to that. You open it here and you get the light, and they start pairing and connecting immediately. Like you just pair it the first time and then it connects and it closes. The case is very light, charges very fast, like an hour I think, and it can charge these for a long time. Now let's have a look at how they look here. Let me take this off first. First, if you are interested in the most important question for you, which is the nozzle, it is the oval nozzle. Yeah, that could be good or bad for you. I don't care. Like for me, I find it, I don't have any problem because the ear tips, thankfully, Moondrop put these large ones which fit me very, very well. Thankfully, I don't have any problem here in this area. And you get here a vent, so to speak, and here there's another vent. Here, this one is for the sound. Here is for the driver, and here you get your mic. You get this kind of like volume low-high thing, which is going from 0 to 10. And this is the action zone, what they call the action zone, or the part where you press on and it activates different functions, like a press can be play or pause. I will explain that shortly. Here you get your magnetic pieces of metal that latch on the case, which they slide in, no problem, very easily. Now, fit and comfort, I have to say I don't have any problem when I put them in my ear. They fit very well for me personally to my ear, as long as I use these ear tips. I'm going to be upgrading these ear tips, but for now they fit my ear very well. I don't have any problem with it. I walked with it, I went to the gym with it. I don't have any problem. They fit snugly, and they are very, very good. That's how I could say about it. Like for the fit, like I think most true wireless earbuds fit very well. then let me talk a moment about the driver here, because I was interested here for two reasons. The battery life is not that improvement. I was interested in this TWS for two reasons. One is the planar driver that's included here that Moondrop claims has a very low distortion and very high efficiency. That got me really interested. There is an IM by Sony, if I remember correctly. It's called the Pulse Explorer or Explorer, something like that, that uses the planar drivers. And this one is the second one I know of. Now, Moondrop says, if you can see here, it says ultra-linear acoustics. Ultra-linear because they say, and they're right, that the distortion is below 0.05%. That got me interested. The second thing is because of the LDAC. The LDAC should give you very nice bandwidth, actually more than anyone needs. And I think, like, for my personal use, LDAC has been great. Now, enough talking about that. I just want to say, let's talk about the sound first, and then I will continue saying what I want to say. Now, let me talk about the sound, which is the most important aspect, I think, for many of us audiophiles. Now, this has a 13 millimeter planar magnetic driver or orthodynamic driver. Now, this compares, if you look at the timeless 7 Hz, the S12 Pro, the Z12, they have what they call 14.2 to 14.8, including even the Shazi P20, the F1 Pro from Nice HCK. So here, Moondrop claims that this driver is actually 10 times more efficient than the regular 14.2 planar magnetic normal drivers we see. Do I think like that? Actually, yeah. Seems very efficient. It reaches good volume. You have to remember the battery here. That's one of my concerns. The battery here is very small. You know, it's a TWS. And your amplifier, all right, is here, is inside these earpieces. So how can you fit an amplifier and a DAC chip and a Bluetooth wireless transmitter and receiver in something like this? You know? So these things, plus a 13 millimeter planar, not dynamic. Like a 10 millimeter dynamic is great, man. That's excellent. But they put 13. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So this is the first thing I want to say. And does it deliver? Let me start with the bass. Now, the sound signature, if you don't want to watch the video and you want to skip, the sound signature here is a normal, neutral, balanced sound signature that has a small bit of bass boost, which I call neutral. There is an option I will talk about how it changes the sound, the bass only, in the Moondrop Link 2.0 app, which allows you now to have a reference IM with neutral sound, and at the same time increase the bass or decrease the bass. I choose the reference, and I will talk about it later. It is the most neutral in my opinion. It comes with that from the factory. These are the factory settings, and they work very well. The bass is very good in the quantity department, and it is clear, and it has a lot of definition. And I kid you not when I say that, I'm not joking. I went with it until I got to 20 Hertz sub bass, and it performs wonderfully. The bass itself is wonderful. Like, if I could complain about anything, I would say, like, maybe the bass needs some more, how would you say, power, maybe to increase the slam or the impact. But I think that's unrealistic in a TWS like this one, like, because you are limited in the power. For a true wireless IM, I think this is one of the best bass I've heard. Of course, the Sony and the AirPods, they take the best first and second place here, but these follow immediately. Now, we move on to the mid-range, and I think the mid-range here could be described in a one way, which is like it's balanced, it's neutral, it's the exact right amount for any true balanced neutral sound signature you want. What I mean by that is it's not vocal forward, it's not pulled back or recessed, it's just in the middle. When the sound gets busy, thanks to the low distortion, you don't feel that the sounds or the vocals got buried in the mix in any way. Absolutely not. They are very clear, no matter what. I listen to a lot of hard rock, a lot of old school music, 70s and 80s, and Deep Purple and Ozzy Osbourne, and even modern stuff. And I never felt that the vocals were unclear or buried in the mix or anything. They still shine, they still clear. As I said, they're not vocal forward. They are exactly at their rightful place, as they should. When it gets to the treble, I think it has very good treble extension, yet I think that treble is smooth in a good way. Like, any details, I did my tests, and if any details, they are there. They are there and they come in your face, but the treble is not pushed to make it hyper detailed or anything like that. Any detail you like, it's there. It reminds me somewhat of the treble of the 7 Hz, kind of, but in a better way. It's good, but it's not pushing the details for you. Like if there's any cymbals or hi-hats or anything like that, you hear them. Any bells or glasses and stuff like that, you hear them. Very comfortable watching movies on Netflix. Any explosions and stuff like that, you don't feel pain or anything. You hear everything, and it's well. I would say the treble is relaxed and smooth with enough detail. Like this, think about a normal mainstream TWS or earphone that you want to give to people. What would you tune it? How would you tune it? How would you put the bass and put the mid-range and put that? I think this is their vision, and this is how they did it, with an option to change things in the Moondrop app. They added the bass because this is the mainstream, what most people like to hear excuse me, for different genres of music. At the same time, they added clear mid-range for you to hear anything you like Taylor Swift, for example. And then you have the relaxed treble without making you feel that it is harsh or overbearing or anything like that. Zero sibilance, zero shoutiness, and zero shrill on any and every track I have heard. So this should give you an idea about how it sounds like. Quickly, guys, let me move on to the active noise cancellation, which I will say I got the Space Travel here, which is this one. I will talk about it in a second, and I would say they even improved it much better. Is it comparable to something from Sony, from Apple, like the AirPods Pro I have? No, don't even think about it. I'm not saying that at all. Like, if you want to experience like real active noise cancellation, AirPods Pro, Sony IMs, or like you get like something like this, if you really want to see what active noise cancellation means, like you put this, you can't hear most things, right? People talk in front of you, you can hear them. But for this price, and generally for any price, is the noise cancellation good? Yes, it is very good. I would give it like 8 to 8.5 out of 10, meaning in my full-time job, the place I work at is near to a construction place, and they're building buildings there. And when I walk for lunch break, I always find these people, like construction people, during the lunch break having these jackhammers, and there's like an ambulance with a siren walking by the street, and maybe someone is honking their car or something like that. Here, I would say these remove 70 to 75% of all these noises. And if I'm sitting in a quiet place and someone is talking to me, if they just using their normal voice, I can't hear them. I see their lips and I can't hear them. I have to ask them, raise your voice, and I have to stop the music. Using the active noise cancellation with any type of music, even on low volume, I can't hear anything, to be completely honest. Even the jackhammer I'm walking next to. So this is my idea about the active noise cancellation. I would say the difference between the Moondrop Golden Ages and others in the active noise cancellation is the level of the bass. The bass doesn't suffer. I don't think any sound frequency suffered when I turned on the active noise cancellation. That is a feature of itself. So now that we talked about this, let me talk about the standout feature for me, which is Moondrop excelled at, even in this very affordable one, but here is much better, is the transparency mode. And what is the difference between this one and the Space Travel and so on? What Moondrop did here in the transparency mode is for you to turn it on and off, you just press here 1 second like that. You turn ANC on, ANC off, and then it gets into the transparency mode. What transparency mode does here is just, it not only allows you to hear your surroundings, but it allows you to hear them. In my opinion, I feel there is a better clarity and a bit of amplification. It's not, you can't hear everything, like, excuse me, you hear everything, but it's more cranked up a notch. For example, the construction areas I'm talking to, I'll be sitting and working, and if I use them, I can hear the people on the street with more detail. Usually without them, I can hear them, but they're far away. But when I put it, I can hear them with good detail. This is very good also when I'm talking to someone. They just talk normally, like I'm talking in a normal voice like that, and I can hear what they're saying very clear, as if they're standing right in front of me. I don't mean if they're far away, no, I can't, but I mean, they just will speak normally, I can hear them. This is an excellent feature here, but for example, you have to be careful because it is not adaptive like the Apple AirPods Pro. For example, for the Apple, if you're in a gym and someone dropped a dumbbell or something, it will not be high in your ear, it will be lower. And if you're walking and there's a siren or someone honking a car, it will be lower and you'll stay aware of your surroundings. Here, I think everything is amplified equally, so to speak, you know? That's what I want to say about it. The last thing I will say is there is a low latency mode for gamers, which you can turn on and off by 4 times here. As I said before, guys, this is the action zone, or the area where you tap and it turns on, it turns off. And that is a great feature. I tried it personally. To be honest, they normally have, in my opinion, very good latency. I didn't game with them or anything like that, but I feel that for gamers where milliseconds are important, they want to hear these sound cues, this will be very important for them. You just press 4 times and it will say low latency mode. You press 4 game mode, excuse me, and then you press 4 more times, it will tell you music mode. That's it. There is a cute anime girl, something like that, talking every time you put them in your ear. She's like, connected, disconnected, and she's like, you know, giving you these nice nice things that you hear, like, you know, when you turn on the active noise cancellation. She's like, she, stuff like that, like shush, something similar to that. It's kind of funny every time I listen to it. It's kind of cute. Makes me kind of laugh. But anyway, I digress. The last 2 things about the sound I want to say quickly. First, I will talk about the imaging. I think the imaging is great. When I listen to it, I can pinpoint where everything is. I can say 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Yes, it is that detailed, which is surprising to me. Another surprise is the Soundstage, which I don't know if they are doing this virtually or not, but I think it has a wider than normal Soundstage, maintaining the imaging qualities, which gets difficult when it gets wider. Like when I listen to Duna Glacier, it is very wide, but the imaging is there, and that is very hard to do. When the image gets wider, maybe you feel something is floating in the space, kinda. Here, still you can pinpoint things with excellent accuracy. I can tell you, as I said, exactly 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. I know exactly where the sound is coming from, which is great. Separation in instruments is great. So generally speaking, a neutral sound with a little bit of bass boost. So, which brings me to the last point I will speak about, is the Moondrop app. You get the app and you download it. I downloaded it from the Moondrop website on Google. I tried in the app, the Play Store. I couldn't find it. So I downloaded it from there. It picks them up, you register, you just add it and you go. It allows you to control the ANC. It allows you to control things like an EQ. They have like 3 ones. One is reference, which I think this is the factory default that comes with, which I'm using and I recommend. This is the only one I like. It has good bass. It has everything else is the same. I tried, there's something called monitor. To my ears, guys, that's what I feel. I feel it doesn't change anything except the bass. Makes the bass lower. I could be wrong, but I think all the EQ profiles are kind of subtle. But I feel the monitor profile of the EQ in the app takes it down a notch, the bass and the sub bass only. and there is a configuration called bass head. I think this only increases the sub bass and bass a few notches. Again, it is subtle, and mostly I think in the sub bass, like, their difference is very small, but I like the reference tuning. It has good bass. You don't need more than that, trust me, unless you want to enjoy some electronic music tracks or whatever you want, and you want that extra bass boost. You just click apply. It doesn't even disconnect. It's awesome. Another thing, I connect them with LDAC, optimized for audio quality, which gets you 990 kilobits per second, which is all and more than anyone needs. No problem, no disconnections, nothing. Wonderful. Battery life, as I said, or I didn't say yet, I don't know, because I was charging these when I used them the whole day. I want to give you guys an accurate performance review about them, so I was afraid maybe the battery will go low and the performance will suffer, so I kept charging them in the case, and I went over 2.5 hours and they don't go low at all, in my opinion. I think they could go more than that. I didn't check, but on LDAC, has quality, with ANC on, I went over 2.5 hours. I had no problem. I can test it later, and if you guys want to ask me in the comment, I'll reply to you what my findings are. I just want to say, when you press here, I forgot to tell you, if you press here on the back, you kind of see it's white. So when you put them inside also, they kind of have a light. It will be green if the battery is over 10%, orange if it's less than 10%. If you want a factory reset this to default settings, which I did, is you just open it with these inside and you press here for 10 seconds until this light becomes orange. Opening the case gets it into the pairing mode. This light is not white for you guys, it is green. I hope you can see that. This light is green. When I press here, as you can see, it is green. That means the battery is over 10%. Now, we spoke about this, and the only thing we didn't speak about is comparing the sound of this one, and is it worth it for $79, which the price I pre-ordered them at. Now, first I will compare it to this, guys. This wonderful invention from Moondrop. These cost $24.99 if I remember correctly. I got them at this price, and they are a marvel. Show me any IM or true wireless earphone that comes at this price or close and has active noise cancellation and transparency mode. They have this case, it has no cover. I thought they will fall. They never fall. You can try this until tomorrow, even lightly, they will never fall. Excellent build quality. You kind of just take them off from the side like that. They come up and they go magnetically in. Strong magnets. They charge USB, 5 volts to 1 amp, same as this one. Size is probably similar. What is the difference then? What is the difference between the Treble and the Planar one like that? Like, if you look at the build quality, if you can look here, I think you will notice some similarities, right? Like, I think anyone can begin to notice similarities. So what are the differences? And this is why I recommend this and this. But what are the differences if we pay the difference in the price? Well, the differences, sir, is more about the sound. The driver you get, this gets louder. The Golden Ages, I keep saying Space Ages, like Space Travel and Golden Ages, 1979. This has better sound quality. This has louder volume. Good when I don't recommend you listen to high volume, but good when you listen to things with high dynamic range in classical music. This has better bass and better active noise cancellation, and as I said, an amplified transparency mode. You hear things louder. What are the benefits of this one? This one, guys, you can give it as gifts. You can use it. I use it still after I got this one. I use it. Sometimes I just put them in my ear when I'm charging this, and I just can't believe it. The active noise cancellation here is decent. It literally decreases more than 50% the noises around you. And at the same time, it has this excellent transparency mode, which I think is not amplified. The sound is great, almost the same sound signature, but I think this one has much more bass in it and much better quality and cleanliness in the sound, as you say. The difference is when the volume here is when I watch Netflix or I watch something with high dynamic range, I feel this needs this has the volume I need. This needs more volume. But do I recommend the space travel? Absolutely. With eyes closed, you guys gotta get this and try it, and then look at the price. And remember, I told you how good it is. Like, it's unbelievable. Now comes then another question, which is like, what is the difference between the Moondrop Golden Ages and something like the Apple AirPods Pro, which in my opinion is the #1 true wireless IM, and something maybe like the Sony X4 IM or something like that? What are the main differences? I will make this quickly. I will say there is like a big difference, to be honest. Like that's why this is at this price, and that is the Apple AirPods. I can't remember. I got them at $200, something like that. They go on sale, so, but that's the average price, and there's like a big difference in many ways. Like the sound is much better, of course, on the Apple. The bass is better. The transparency mode, you can control how much, and you can control them with like gestures and do like things like that. Here there is like the H2 chip, which gives you like a lot of computational audio. Like it even like tracks your head and it personalizes the sound, which makes every track seems different. Also, like the case has like the wireless charging and the Find My Device and all these gadgets and so on. Not to mention that it's waterproof, you know, with the wireless charging and whatnot. Anyway, like there is also like this 360 audio and head tuning and adaptive audio. But let's talk as audiophiles. Like I think the sound quality alone, yes, it is better. It gets louder. And I think the sound there is good, especially the bass is good. Is it like 2 times better than this or anything like that? No, not at all. I think this is a very high quality sound with very good noise cancellation. Just for example, like the Apple and the Sony, especially the Apple, you just put things there and you can't hear anything. The noise cancellation is that good. As I said, with the Moondrop here, you get like 70 to 75% noise cancellation. Now, another thing is, someone will ask me like, would you recommend using this with it alone? Or like, for example, if you got like something like the FIU BTR7 and you use like something like the Aria 2, for example, which is a great thing. How would I describe the difference? I honestly think like something like the Aria 2 offers a much better sound quality if used with something like a dongle, or just something like straight up like the BTR, or even something like the Moondrop River 2i. I think that's something that offers much higher sound quality alone compared to these Golden Ages 1979. So if this is the question you want to ask, or you feel could dictate if you get them or no, sound quality alone, I'm telling you straight up, like get the Aria 2, get something better from Moondrop, K2 or something like that. Sound quality difference is huge. But if we're talking about good sound quality, planar dynamic, low distortion, good bass, EQ profiles, active noise cancellation, and the freedom of not having any wire, these are addicting when you try them. Even if they have lower sound quality, they have their uses, maybe on your commute or something, maybe you're like in your subway, or if you're riding a bike, or if you're walking in the city, drive. I don't recommend them when driving, of course, but when you're anywhere and you just want something without wires, like they cannot be beat. Like sometimes even with a BTR7 or a dongle, I feel that the wires get in the way. And if I'm not chasing critical listening or ultimate sound quality, and I just want to enjoy myself for a few moments, watch Netflix, or, you know, to have a phone call, which, by the way, the mic here is very good. That's my opinion about it. It's clear. But I wouldn't say it's awesome, like 10 out of 10. But as I said, I would give it 8.5 out of 10. It is good. People say they can hear me very clearly with no problem. So as I said, would I recommend that for that? Yes. If ultimate sound quality is your goal, and if you're thinking, should I pay money here, or should I get something like the Aria 2 with a dongle, any dongle, or like something wireless like the BTR3K or BTR7? No, my answer to you is, if you're chasing sound quality alone, Aria 2 will be there. These things will be there. They have better dynamic, they have better sound quality, detail specifically. That's the detail. Tuning is kind of similar, but with the Aria 2 having more detail. retrieval and better dynamics and better bass quality and texture. These things are the kind of things you could feel between them. So this has been the review. I know it took a long time. I will try to add timestamps for you guys. If you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. Like, subscribe to this channel if you think this channel helps you make any decision. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. I will reply to it as soon as I can. And until then, guys, like, stay positive and see you in the next one. Bye.